All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I know you've been waiting for a long time, and we're finally back. My name's Ahmad,
I'm Camry.
and together we are Madri.
Madri.
Today, I will be talking about the Women's Rugby World Cup and the Senegal soccer coach, Alou Kassé, being one of two African American coaches in the world.
And I'll be talking about the South Asian market.
All right, so now moving on to my article. My article is about Alou Cisse being one of two African coaches in the sport of soccer. So Alou Cisse is 46 years old, and he is the coach of Senegal. So now talking a little bit about Senegal. They are one of three African nations who have reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup. The three teams were Cameroon in 1990, Senegal in 2002, and Ghana in this year, 2018. None of them were coached by African American coaches at all. So it was kind of rare to see them go back again this year to see them go to the World Cup. Cisse was the captain of the Senegal team 16 years ago, and then he obviously became the head coach this year. Senegal's 2002 team, coached by Bruno Metsu, was based entirely in France, Senegal's former colonizer, but the 2018 group is more widely dispersed now, meaning obviously there's way more African players. There's way more, there will be way more African coaches now because Cecil really wants that to, you know, happen and like spread. A quote from the article: "It is disappointing that in a sport full of African players at a high level, there are just two African coaches, which is bad because there needs to be more diversity within like that area, just because like more ideas could be spread and more things like that, more like it attracts more players and things like that." Cisse is the lowest paid of the 32 coaches in the World Cup at an estimated 2,000 euros per year, and the highest paid is German coach Jerome Lowe's, which is 1.5 million. Foreign soccer coaches have been integral to African soccer from the beginning of the World Cup. In 1934, when Egypt became the first African nation to participate, James McRae, a Scotsman, was the manager. When Morocco became the next African team to participate in 1970, the coach was Blajo Vidic of Yugoslavia. There has been resistance to the approach. Tanzania banned foreign soccer coaches in 1975, only to relent eventually. Cisse demonstrated how effective local coaches in Africa can be if given the time and opportunity to succeed. So basically, he became head coach and he just wanted everybody to see them succeed, and he had faith in his team and confidence in his team, which is why they actually went to the World Cup. But with the surge in Africans playing in major European leagues, which began in the earnest in the 1990s, there are even more retired African players with undeniable stature. Cisse explained how local coaches get little respect in Africa in an interview. And he said, "We are lacking consideration, but we are capable of thinking, motivating a team, having a plan for a game. It's not because I have dreadlocks that I'm a lightweight. That is a preconception. You can tell me I'm the worst coach in Senegalese soccer, but I am assured the one who wants to win the most." And now moving on to Camry with her article.
Thank you, Ahmad. Now I will be talking about the South Asian market. Almost 4.5 South Asians live in the US, with a majority of those living in metropolitan markets, and they have a median income exceeding $80,000, the highest among any ethnic group. And it is a growing group. Comparing the 2000 census and 2013 American Community Survey data, the South Asian community grew 97%, being the fastest growing major ethnic group in the United States. The metropolitan areas with the largest South Asian populations are sport meccas, including New York City, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Across the 5 major sports leagues, these cities are all home to the 41 franchises, or more than 25% of all teams. There are South Asians entering the industry and exceeding. A number of teams have held South Asian Night and India Day and more events like that.
It's a cold world. Bundle up. Thank you, Camry. Now, moving on to my article. My article is about the Women's Rugby World Cup. It will be held in 2021 in New Zealand, with the final due at Eden Park, which will be the biggest venue to stage a women's final ever.
New Zealand will host the Women's Rugby World Cup in 2021. Yes, World Rugby voted in favour of New Zealand's bid over Australia to have the tournament played in the Southern Hemisphere for the first time. Auckland and Whangarei will stage the 6-week event in July and August.
With the Black Ferns based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, we just kind of pitched it that, if you played women's rugby, you'd want to come to New Zealand, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. I'm just holding it all in at the moment and really happy with the outcome.
Now, there have been 8 World Cups, and the Black Ferns have dominated them, winning 5 titles. Now, this is New Zealand's first time actually having the chance to bid or to host the tournament, and the first that the World Rugby have awarded the event to a country outside the Northern Hemisphere. Now, in order to host the event, New Zealand beat Australia 25-17 in a match, and Australia secured $10 million in government funding before the match, and New Zealand secured about $3 million. So Australia already had a bigger advantage over New Zealand, but New Zealand came up with the win, and they fought through it. And Australia got big-headed, which wasn't really a good thing. Jubilant NZ Rugby CEO Steve Tu also praised the Australian bid. World Rugby Chairman Bill Barrymont said he felt the decision was international recognition for the obsession for rugby in New Zealand. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said it was a proud moment for Kiwis and rugby fans all across the world. Now, the stadium of 4 million is what they call the stadium that it'll be held at, became a catch cry for a hugely successful tournament that swept the length and breadth of the country. Buoyed by all Black success that eventually saw them end their long title drought. New Zealand's population is now increasing and is now over 5 million, and now more people get the pleasure of watching live matches. The provinces have arguably a bigger appetite for this and a better system for hosting teams, yet TV coverage or a costly trip north is now their lot in terms of first-hand engagement. The incredible Black Ferns deserve this opportunity, and they need a nation behind them.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope we provided you with a lot of good information. And make sure you stay warm, because it's getting cold out there. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
We out here. You dig?